The pain of a breakup is real and paralyzing. People often spend weeks, months, or even years trapped in a state of hopeless yearning, waiting for a feeling to pass. That is unrecoverable time. Today, we are going to build a concrete psychological protocol to neutralize that heartbreak actively. The protocol targets a specific psychological benchmark: encountering a photo of your ex with someone new and feeling absolute emotional neutrality. To build this system, you only need 4 tools right now: a pen, a piece of paper, your phone, and your wallet. Getting over someone doesn't happen by letting the clock tick. It requires you to stop being a passive victim of your emotions and start executing a deliberate structure. When it comes to dismantling an emotional attachment, behavioral psychology gives us 2 highly effective paths: exposure and extinction. This chart shows how exposure, or flooding, works. If you rapidly and repeatedly subject yourself to a painful stimulus, the initial emotional spike eventually exhausts itself and decays into a neutral flatline. Applying this to heartbreak means intentionally staring at photos of your ex with their new partner over and over until the panic subsides. It is effective, but it requires enduring an incredibly high level of deliberate distress. Extinction takes the opposite approach. Instead of exhausting the emotion through overwhelming contact, you starve the emotion by eliminating the stimulus completely. While both methods arrive at the same neutral end state, extinction allows you to skip the severe psychological pain of flooding. That makes extinction the most efficient and manageable path for breaking your attachment. Step 1 of the extinction path is absolute physical isolation. This is standard no contact: 0 calls, 0 texts, and 0 physical encounters. But people routinely fail because they ignore cognitive contact. They stop texting, but they continue to stalk social media profiles or spend hours replaying old memories in their heads. By engaging in this cognitive contact, you accidentally create an intermittent reinforcement schedule. This timeline graph shows what happens when you relapse. You maintain silence for weeks, building up your recovery, but checking their profile just once acts like a neurological slot machine. Your brain gets a sudden hit of the stimulus, and your dependency resets. This cycle of deprivation, followed by a sudden relapse, creates a process addiction. A breakup that should take a few months to process stretches into years of continuous pain. Extinction only succeeds if you apply the exact same strict boundaries to the mental phantom of your ex as you do to the physical person. The problem is, you cannot simply command your brain to stop thinking about a topic. If you try not to think about a pink elephant, your mind immediately generates an image of a pink elephant. To combat the intrusive thoughts that will inevitably pop up, we use a cognitive behavioral technique known as block and replace. Grab your pen and paper. You are going to write down every flaw, failure, selfish act, and annoying habit your ex ever exhibited. Include the specific times they were inconsistent, manipulative, or difficult. Forcing yourself to focus exclusively on the unlovable parts of someone you cared about is going to feel deeply uncomfortable. But you have been harboring a one-sided fantasy of a perfect angel who got away. This brutal, honest list balances the scales against your brain's idealized traps. Once the list is finished, take a picture of it to keep on your phone and fold the physical piece of paper into your wallet. This physical document serves as your primary defense mechanism against your own romanticized traps. Here's how you use it. You will be going about a normal day when a sudden, painful memory or an idealized fantasy of your ex invades your thoughts. This flowchart shows the first step, the block. You issue a firm command to stop the thought immediately, refusing to entertain the fantasy. Then comes the replacement. You physically pull out the list or open the photo on your phone. You make yourself read those specific flaws. You absorb those negative memories until the romanticized emotion completely dissipates. Your perspective will shift back to reality, reconnecting you with the true, flawed nature of the past relationship. Executing this sequence daily erodes the false fantasy and begins to shift your emotional response to the memory of your ex. Success in an extinction protocol is measured by your reaction when you eventually see evidence of your ex moving on with their life. When the system works, the previous panic and desperation are replaced by a quiet emotional neutrality. If they did not want to stay with you, they were the wrong partner. No matter how good they looked on paper, they were objectively incorrect for you. Stop throwing your money away on coaching programs designed to win your ex back. Recapture your dignity and rely on a strict psychological protocol. When you dismantle the fantasy and neutralize the stimulus, the painful end of the relationship ceases to be a tragedy. It becomes a necessary step forward.